So I've been playing with the double steps now for a couple days, and I wanted to do a test really for like the mobile hunting community. I got a test for myself really, and that is what strap system and how I am going to run the double step. Obviously, if you've paid attention to the forums, some guys were talking about the buckleless method isn't as good because of the speed button and the extra T's to go ahead and attach it. So last week I ordered some 8mm static rope, and I got that ready to rock. I actually have an Amsteel rope ready to rock. The traditional buckleless method, and Zach Robb kind of came up with a way to also use the T's and not have the speed button. And I did order some Amsteel like daisy chain, and I got this from like Amsteel USA Amsteel products, one of those. Google that. And I got the smaller increments of chain as far as the gap between those things, so hopefully that works a little better on the smaller speed button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera to the side and look at the slack that happens when in these various attachment points. I probably won't record, but I'm going to go ahead and throw my stick on 3 or 4 trees, some smaller trees. I got a tree in the back that's got a kick at the very bottom, a couple angle degree change there. Record that and kind of give some scores as far as, okay, is this easy to perform quickly, hunt over hunt kind of score there, and then is gripping like climbability score. So 2 little like breakdown scores of what I think. So I'll be interested to see how it plays out here, and I'm just trying to get the most effective system really for me as well. This is going to be my base test tree. It's a knobbier oak but basketball round, so it's pretty easy, but it's a pretty straight trunk. And so like I'll record a lot of video here on just base testing all the various ropes that I've got there in the belts. And what I'll do then, I've got a handful of trees behind me that, like I said, have a little bit of like curve at the bottom, a little difference in diameter. And I'll probably just, summarize my thoughts after climbing on those bad boys for a little bit. But
this is the same motion, just slowed down to see the sag of the belt, just so we can compare it to the other options later.
So one thing I noticed when I started working with this rope last week, because this came in just a touch earlier, this is the 8mm static cord. It's easier to get around these T's than the traditional buckleless method. I will say this cord from my earlier testing just doesn't seem as solid. It's biting actually pretty good on this tree. No complaints, but something to mention here that I really didn't think about until I talked to Cody is a tree's round, a cord is round, or a rope is round, and that's sometimes why I think the buckleless is actually better than a traditional rope mod. I don't know. I don't see this rope being in the top couple. It is significantly easier to get around these T's though. From my earlier testing, something that Jake Bush was telling me to watch on the Amsteel products is with these edges of the sticks and stuff, they do kind of nick up this rope for whatever reason. Again, I noticed the same thing. This is easier to get around these T's, more so than the strap. The strap is just more material here. I still, you can see this one actually slid the most. That could be more user than true product. I'm going to throw this thing on a few more trees clearly. That's my thing. I think the Amsteel comes off the tree. It just, obviously I'm removing it. I'm never going to climb like that, but I feel like it just comes off that tree the easiest, actually, of everything I've even tested, including the 8mm static rope. It could have just been I didn't have it as good on there. I'm going to throw this on more trees before I officially say that. And this is the daisy chain. I actually have the highest hopes for this. I just think it could be what I need here. Now, dude, I am literally perfectly right on a link in my chain where I can't get it. So like I would have to go significantly more slack. And on this tree, that's pretty significant. I'm gonna throw this on more trees. I don't want to just right off the daisy chain just because I had an odd tree. So there it's bit. And it actually held pretty good considering I had to essentially back out a link. Now, that's the thing. I just don't think they bite as good this way. I'm obviously between links. Can I use this T guy? No, because now I've got a really bad angle. I know you can sometimes twist these, but I'm literally right in between them. Could I like loop it a time or two and then go over it? Oh God, this is a mess. Daisy chain might be completely out for me at this point. So as the results stand, the buckle is hands down like the most secure method to the tree. I don't love anything that I've found right now. I'm gonna go throw this. Oh, you can see I got a wide variety of trees behind me, some thicker ones, some thinner ones. I gotta do a little more testing off camera and just move through it quicker and see if I discover anything. I think you can kind of see my stumble factor here. I don't have a front runner as of right now. Maybe one will emerge. So one final test I did want to do is Zach Robb on the Mobile Hunters page came up with a way. Obviously that speed button is removable on these sticks, and he looked at the buckleless method, kind of weaving it around the T's and then kind of tucking it through and cinching it down. That looked to be a touch easier than the traditional buckleless method, at least on this stick. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that speed button and then give you guys some concluding thoughts. I do feel way better after throwing them on 3 or 4 different trees and hanging it 2 to 3 times, and I should have a good breakdown. Go to the Mobile Hunter page. Zach's got a good camera angle on this. So he brings it across this guy back through the loop here, and this is you're just pushing through, and then this part goes around the T here, and you kind of can pull the slack out of it. Probably tuck that guy behind your brackets, and you're in. And actually, I'm kind of surprised. That didn't have much play. Let's shoot that sideways. The other nice thing, if you get rid of that speed button, it could be a potential contact point with how these stack. So this comes across. I'll do the hokey pokey. Okay. No shit. Thank you, everyone just heard my voice. I gotta throw this on a few more trees, but that felt pretty damn secure. You just get that flat belt. I'm gonna do a little more testing. Okay, so I'm gonna run through kind of my final results here and let you guys know my 2 cents. First, we have the 8mm static rope. I would say this was the second easiest to like get on when I had a speed button on here. It was the easiest. It just works better. I don't know, it threads around these T's definitely better. It actually held pretty secure. If I'm gonna give scores, let's give some base scores. On a regular Lone Wolf Custom Gear mini stick, not the double, buckleless method, ease of use, I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's very easy to use. I don't know if it gets much easier. So I'm gonna go through, rank all these guys as far as climbability, and what I'm thinking about with climbability is you know, how much sag did I have to get it in place? Was there any play? And then also, like, after I've stood on the stick and it's really set in there, I always wanted to like reach down here and give it a kick out type score. Like, did I feel it was going to loosen up on me? So let's start here. I got the 8mm static rope. This was actually super easy to get around the speed button. Obviously on the double stick, the original kind of buckleless method way that I showed earlier is a little much with the T's because there's a lot going on there. This thread's a lot easier. This is probably, before I tried this method, I think this was going to be my go-to. As far as climbability, we're going to score this at like a 6.5 because sometimes on the slicker tree there's a little more sag in the rope. But ease of use, I'm going to give it like a 8 or a 9 out of 10. You know, it's very easy to use this around the speed button and the T's. Like, this is definitely the route to go. I think let's go to the next similar style, which this Amsteel rope is a thinner material or whatever, and it's like a more rigid rope. And I'll be honest, it didn't thread around the T's and wasn't as easy to work with, and I didn't think it grabbed as good on the tree itself. So as far as like climbability, like it didn't get as tight, so let's score it like a 6.5 out of 10. And then as far as ease of use, we'll score it a 7 out of 10. So not as good as even the 8mm. So that one's out for sure, hard pass. The daisy chain, and I had high hopes for the daisy chain. I thought this was going to be the winner. I thought the ease of use, because you know it's literally speed button to speed button, sweet. But on these 6 trees I tried here in the yard, I was in between notches a lot of times. So then, you know, I kind of had to take it up a couple inches higher, and I was not a fan of the daisy chain. The ease of use, sure, I'll score it a 9 out of 10. It's pretty easy to use, 8 out of 10. Climbability, like 5. I felt even the other 2 ropes were getting it better and tighter on all my trees. I really only felt the daisy chain really locked in good on one of them. And maybe that's me, maybe I'm not a daisy chain guy, but that's just an honest opinion. This kind of leads me to my winner. And I didn't expect this. I actually was really liking the 8mm rope. But the going around the T method that I showed late, from a climbability, it held the most secure, minus obviously the buckle's #1. This holds more secure than any of these other rope mods stuff going on here. I think that's just the flat surface against a round tree. You're always going to do better than, say, the round objects versus another round object in the tree.
So I filled the SD card actually mid like closing thoughts on last night's testing and didn't realize it until just now, and I'm literally editing the video as we speak. But to kind of conclude, it's a little more work to get that little looping system with the buckleless around the T's, but it's not significantly longer, and it just holds, I feel like, the most secure. And it's literally maybe adding 5 extra seconds a stick compared to, say, an 8mm rope mod, and it just holds so much better. So that's the route I think I'm going to hunt with. I may keep 1 or 2 8mm cords if I go to the big woods in my backpack, just in case I get to a giant tree, you know, something that's like 8 foot and you know, I really need a bigger cord. But I don't see myself using any of those Amsteels or the daisy chain by far. I'm just not a fan. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what we got going on. Also, hunting season's coming up. Check out the buck films. We'll see ya.